might give it just, I'll run it out here maybe.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. You gotta be kidding me.
That was pretty quick.
Let's go take a look. What?
How's it going?
It's DeSoto time. So, dudes and dudettes, because we enjoy punishing ourselves and trying to make insane deadlines, we've got a car show in 4 days.
Something like that.
And we've got a DeSoto that hasn't run in 15, 20 years. So let's see if we can take it to the car show in 4 days.
On Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, this was a great time. Yeah, Tuesday, 9 p.m., we decided this was a good idea.
Looks good in the shop, though.
Yeah, check it. It's a little faded. She's been sitting outside since we got it. And I know Brian, you're excited about this. So we're going to get after it. I think it may not drive there. Nah, we're going to, if it runs and goes into gear, we're going to drive it there, even if it don't have brakes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm off the bumper.
Okay, so here's the update. We've got the that's not the 330, it's the 291, I think, Hemi. Story is, this guy was after this car for a long time. It was sitting out by a barn somewhere, and he was kind of I think like a traveling district kind of rep salesman type dude. And he finally talked the guy out of it. He was going to build it as a cruiser for he and his wife, and then they lost ambition and kind of aged out of the whole project. He took this little fancy Firedome 8 cover off of the spark plugs on this side because he either did or was going to. He probably did. Ooh, those are unique. Don't break those. Squirt some stuff into cylinders. We rolled it over just a little bit when we looked at it and first got it home. That's the transmission. It's got some sort of a Automagic transmission. I can't remember for sure what it's called. Otherwise,
oh, Power Flight.
Yeah, Power Flight. That's it. It even says so on Chrome, I think. It's been upgraded sometime. We've got plastic wires where normally they're cloth in this car, and we've got an electric fuel pump down here. And then we do know that it's had a new fuel tank put in it. I don't know how new. I don't know what condition it's in. So
I think we were told it's a galvanized tank.
Yeah, not sure. Otherwise, it's a really straight car. No rust. Well, very little rust. The Mises have been enjoying it. So there's an odor, but nothing that some vacuuming and stuff won't take care of. But we've got all the dash. We've got a really cool steering wheel. We're missing a T on the chrome on the front, and we're missing the Power Flight badge on the back. So if you have one of these cool retro T's and or the Power Flight, hit us up in the message us, because we need those two things and it'll be complete. Over here, this is about as bad as the rust gets, right here on this front edge of this wheel well, and life is pretty good otherwise. Some dings, you know, it's just a few years old. So oh yeah, by the way, 55 DeSoto, so that makes it almost 70 years old, 69 years old.
Getting close. This
year. That's where we're at. We better get to work, I suppose. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a ratchet or a wrench on this engine. We're going to turn it around 2 whole revolutions, check some fluids, maybe put a battery in it, see what kind of smoky smells and flames we can make. and go from there. Power brakes, just noticed that. Kind of cool.
Alright everybody, we've been digging into this thing a little bit. Blew some of the poop off, took the oil-filled air cleaner off. Now we're pulling the plugs. Now the first one's already popped back in, but here, this is the second one we've taken out, matches the other one. Fairly new, although they're Champion, fairly new spark plugs. This one looks like it's been ran on, but they're all a little bit wet on the end, so we're thinking maybe he did get some stuff in those cylinders. We're not sure yet, but we're gonna keep pulling them. Here is plug number 3, in case you wondered. Once again, new Champion plug. Even cleaner, even less wet, kinda. Gonna keep going.
It's got new plugs in it. They look like, some of them especially look like they have fired. They're Champions, but that's okay. We got the battery out of the mini truck. I think it's good enough to crank this thing. We can take this guy out. We don't have any gas anywhere right now. But first things first, I think we're ready. We're gonna just see. No big sparks there. Okay. We're pretty well connected now. I went in the house and found the keys. So power there, power there. This is our voltage regulator. We should have power coming out of here. We got power even to
Our electric pump.
the electric fuel pump. Looks like it's gonna have power. And then the switch goes back to the inside and probably grabs something there. So let's now turn the key to the on position and see what kind of things that does. Okay, that was crank. So here's on. We got some gauge movement. Oh! Is there lights out there?
Park lights.
Oh, there you go.
One headlight.
That one burned out. I could tell it came on real bright. Look at the instrument cluster, Jay. Bring that camera in here. Check this out. That is so cool. Every single one of them lit up.
That's sweet. And the radio.
And the radio's lit up. And the clock.
That is sweet.
Holy moly. We don't got dome light because we don't have a bulb. And then all the gauges jump like they're ready to rock and roll.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's one of those don't have a park transmissions. I forget, did we even try to step on? Ooh. Oh wait, when we were loading this, didn't we find a little brake?
Probably.
Well, maybe not much. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing with that, and we're just gonna.
Super cool.
Okay, turns over nice.
Good sounding starter, I think.
Yeah, very good sounding starter. Let's we're gonna get the squirt bottle and just see.
Did check oil and transmission fluid and coolant. Not a lot of coolant.
Yeah, we checked all the juices. Just a little bit. You want to jump in there and try it, Jay? Don't give it any pedal or nothing. Well, we might give it just. I'll run it out here maybe.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. You gotta be kidding me.
That was pretty quick.
That was. I wanna be a runner. Let me do a little float bowl action here, if I can, without drowning things. Definitely got an exhaust leak. Okay.
You call that runs?
Yeah. We might have a miss. I'm sure we have a miss, in fact. Are there any toggle switches or anything in there? Under the dash or anything that would turn on? Oh, right there. Hit that real quick. Just momentarily. Push it off. Again. No. All right, let's do this again. Try her again. Huh. Almost like it wanted to idle.
I still have that switch flipped up.
Yeah, it's not pumping though. I went over and touched it. Let's go again.
Right now?
Yep. Is you got anything on the gauges? Any oil pressure? Is there oil pressure gauge?
There is. There's something on the gauge and it's slowly falling now, but it was like in the middle.
So we had oil pressure. I think we're going to sort out that electric fuel pump real quick. And it's only been an hour, guys and gals. So we're going to check.
Not even.
Power. Yeah, not
We were
even.
in the shop for less than an hour.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're going to see if we can't get some fuel up here. Let's take a break for a second and regroup. So we just about condemned this electric fuel pump, and here's a clue for you. Now this car has a new fuel tank, but probably before that somebody knew that there was fuel quality issues because we've got two filters on the inlet side of this pump. But nonetheless, it was wired, and this is why you don't. Try not to use the same color wire for both sides of your circuit, because we had red 12 gauge wire going to both sides of this pump. What had happened was we had power coming from the junction block on the driver's side fender well going to this black wire, and we were switching this tan, which used to probably be red a long time ago, wire. So in essence, this pump was wired backwards. Jalen just took it over to verify one last time before we gave up on it. Touched it to the correct battery terminals, positive here, negative here, and it pumps just fine. We got suction here and everything. So it's going right back on, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, we've got the fuel pump loosely rewired properly. We've checked it with the switch. That's working. Jalen's back there throwing some fuel in, unleaded, no ethanol. And then on the outlet of the fuel pump, we've got this elbow disconnected from the line that goes to the old non-working factory pump. And we got a hose that goes into this bucket. So theoretically, we get a couple gallons in here, and we should be able to make stuff squirt into here that looks like fuel. Hopefully it looks like clean fuel.
Oh, it's coming. Kind of dirty, but I've seen worse, I want to say. Do you want to come look? There's a little bit of rust right at the beginning, like orangey color.
I don't think that's horrible.
No. There's almost the color like the bottom of the bucket, like the very first for like just a second. Ooh, it's getting really clean now. Kinda. But.
Cleanish anyway.
Oh, that don't smell very old.
Good.
Now that we're down to this, it might have been pretty dry.
Let's see.
Is there anything on the fuel gauge? I don't know if that would show or not, but
Let me turn the heat on.
oh my god, that's totally clean. Okay, so we're gonna see how dirty this glass bowl gets here. We got our line hooked back up. Huh. Nothing's coming in. Okay, we're trying it again.
Second attempt.
Yep, got a contraption down there bypassing the old top. Oh, yep. Filled right up.
We got gasoline.
Oh, it's leaking.
Okay.
Onto the intake.
Oh, it's leaking pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the needle and seat. It's external. Externally regulated.
Huh.
And it's not stuck though. Oh, and there's a screen in there too. Oh yeah, it says pressure regulator right on it, Jarrett.
Okay. Tip number 2 with a different gasket in there. And a clean bowl. Filling up. Oh no, it's leaking.
Okay.
It's leaking loudly.
Go for it.
Yeah, if I take the fuel away, it stops.
Oh, we don't have the pump going.
Oh! Getting a little late.
All right. Try it again. Give her a little squirt. Try again. A little bit. It's got really bad blow by, so it's getting compression in the crankcase somewhere. One of the valves isn't sealing, but I'm not too worried right now.
Yeah. So, probably need to rebuild that.
I don't know. It just needs to run some.
Yeah. Could it be like a stuck valve?
Yep. Or just a dirty one.
Yeah.
All right, we got a next day alert / update. So what we had is once we, the fuel pump is pumping, and then we came down to this old school regulator, and you watched us fumble with this a couple times. Let's move him out of the way. It came with this, what was left of this rubber gasket here, and it was pretty dried up. It's become a little more malleable now, but you can see that it's just old. And so it was leaking, first of all. So we had to get the leak stopped. Ended up, we took this guy off, and the needle and seat for the carburetor are right here. And this whole inlet here was just super gacked up with varnish and stuff, and so this guy was stuck shutter than shut. But the nice thing is, here we go, folks, back in the good old days, a hard metal needle, a soft metal seat. You can clean these right up and put them back into service. So now we've got this guy back into here, So he's happy, so we can get fuel. Actually, this goes into the carburetor, and then we went ahead and we cleaned this up. If you see on this pressure regulator, it's just a check ball. See that check ball there? It'll fall in and fall open. So that's all that does, is the weight of that ball keeps the fuel pressure regulated. And then there's a spring and some other stuff going on in there. But yeah, that's the basics. So then today, while Jalen was at his job that pays him a reasonable wage, I went back to the Baumgar's farm store and went searching around in the old tractor parts aisle, and I found this little Calco kit C62682. It's a screen and gasket kit for a sediment bowl. And by the way, they had a sediment bowl that looked just like this hanging on a hook too. But this has got a really nice, check out how thick that is, new rubber gasket, and it's going to sit just perfect in there. So we're gonna go with this. I know it's gonna seal. Jalen's in the house changing some clothes right now. He just got home from work. So we're gonna use this gasket. It's only like $6, and throw this back on, and I think we'll get fuel to our carburetor that way. Now, does the carburetor need taken apart and cleaned? Probably. It's a Carter 2-barrel carburetor. We got to get a number off of it so we can get a kit coming. I did look into the carb with a light, and it looks like things beyond this needle and seat are fairly clean in there. Let's talk carburetors just a minute on this old DeSoto. It's pretty sweet. So we have the Carter 2-barrel, very common carburetor through the 50s, 60s, and 70s. This one has the tag on it. It's a 2178 SA. So we should be able to get a kit for this, and I'm echoing under that big metal hood. You know, I've had these Carters apart multiple times. In fact, I'll show you. Let's go over here to the Plymouth. I popped the hood on it. Wow, how similar is that? Now take a mental picture, click, come over here, take another mental picture, click. Right? So the tags on them are a little bit different, but I'm telling you guys, on these 2-barrel Carters, they're pretty well serviceable. The one issue you have is right here. This is your accelerator pump. When, see that? It goes up and down in the middle, and that's the one part that I'm afraid is probably all dried up on this one. But here's my memory bank of carb kits, and I dug through it already because sometimes it's easier just to look at where you've been to figure out where you need to go. And smart enough to write on this box. This is our Napa Eklund brand kit that we did on the Plymouth. Hang on, let me get you guys over here for a second because I can't open a box. Okay, and what this looks like is this guy right here. This is basically why you're buying this kit. You've got the gaskets. If you're careful, you can make most of the gaskets live probably, but this part will not. And you can see how I don't know what kind of material it is, but it's a flexible material, plastic, rubber, compound, neoprene, you know what I'm saying. It's not gonna work. So I had some trouble searching up, for some reason, on this DeSoto. They want to push you towards a Carter 4-barrel carburetor. These kits here, although I couldn't find this number on the Napa site, when I called my local store, he said, oh yeah, they're all over the state. So I will have one of these in the morning if we need it. And I'm gonna bet $1 and a donut that I'll be, we'll use parts out of it, but I bet the accelerator pump is about the dang same, and it's going to work in our DeSoto. But we're going to try to get this running on its own fuel first, and then we'll see what's going on. But attempt number, who knows, to see if this will run on its own fuel tank.
goes forwards and backwards. Oh, no brakes. This thing's got quite the exhaust leak.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Cheap runner. Unlike 7.
Yeah.
We gotta figure out which one ain't firing. I'm not sure. Yeah, we did a next day alert, but have we got an update for you guys and gals? It's late again. We weren't supposed to work this late tonight, and it's not as late as last night, and hopefully won't be. But here's the update, and it's pretty spectacular in my opinion. So, like I was just telling Jalen here, even I and a lot of guys and gals, when we go rescue these old rigs, we just kind of assume that the last guy or gal that was tinkering on it, trying to get it to run, had it running, you know, fixed whatever was wrong with it last time, or tried to cover the basics. And as Jalen pointed out, maybe we should have known that when we saw the double red wires with the Advanced Auto America switch under the dash going to the fuel pump, that maybe we should take a closer look. And then we found out the fuel pump was wired backwards. And so we did kind of get it back to basics, but what we ended up with was a V8 that was missing really bad. So to clue you in here, all of a sudden we've got a carburetor that doesn't leak, a fuel pump, electric fuel pump that works, the fuel regulator seems to work, and it's running pretty good, but it had a really bad miss. And so we started pulling plugs. We figured out by pulling plug wires when it's running, number 1 and number 3, if you pull them off, they weren't really having any effect. So we pulled a plug. They're Champion plugs. You know how I am about that. We're changing them out anyways. However, we thought a little bit more, and I thought, you know, if somebody can't wire a fuel pump circuit the right direction, and we've all made mistakes trying to get back on the road, we skipped little things, maybe I thought, let's diagnose, let's get to the bottom of this firing order, because it is a same cylinder layout, same cylinder firing order, same rotation as a Chevy small block, 184-36572. Y'all know that business. But we have issues with 1 and 3. Well, guess which 2 cylinders were swapped?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. So we've corrected that now. What we did was we brought the engine up to top dead center, cylinder number 1, and just wanted to start from scratch, check the basics, and yes, number 1 was opposite of number 3. So that's interesting to me because we weren't getting a bunch of backfiring. We had one backfire on a start attempt, but other than that, it just seemed like it was off on cylinders. So we switched them around, got our Champion plugs back in there, and Jalen's gonna hit the key here, and I think we might be on to something. Oh, hang on. Maybe Jarrett should turn the key off for a sec. Maybe we'll put the coil wire back on so you have spark. You see the base, like I was just saying, and here I leave the coil off after we just fix the plug wires. Go ahead. I don't know what we got going on here. We might have still a little bit of a miss. All right, we got an update for you. It's a 2 days later update, I believe, alert, whatever you want to call it. But I think we got it. What did we do? We put AC Delco spark plugs in because, you know, I'm just not a fan of the Champions, especially when they sit for a long, I don't know, I'm just not a fan of the Champions. And then, you know how I was kind of ranting and raving and picking on the previous owner for not, you know, double checking the basics? Well, it was pretty cool when we found that just those 2 plug wires were reversed, 1 and 3, and we swapped 3 over to where it was supposed to go, or no, we swapped 1 over to where it was supposed to go. And then who's got 2 thumbs and is a dingus? This guy. I never plugged plug number 3 all the way back in. And so anyway, we put plugs in. We've got all the spark plug wires on now, and I'm not kidding you. Here's where we're at. I'm gonna put you on the fender here. You might wobble around just a little bit. Reach in, no accelerator pedal. We are on all 8s. We cleaned up the air cleaner, put some fresh oil in that. But it is running pretty damn good. Now the passenger side manifold, there you go, that's better. Now the passenger side exhaust manifold is literally broken in half. The other issue we know we have, is we have cracks. Here, let me shut her back down here. It does need a carb kit. I've got that on the bench. So we'll do a carb rebuild on it, mostly accelerator pump stuff. And to get it to run decent, we've only got the idle air mixture screws out about a half a turn. So I hope it's not the cool vintage fuel pressure regulator, and I don't think it is. I think the carburetor is just overfueling a little bit still. We had this hose was leaking. We found one of them at the Napa Valley, or one that we could cut into that. And then we had a heater hose that was leaking, and we fixed that up, thinking that, you know, maybe we might drive this a little bit. But then we found there's an actual crack in the radiator tank there, and back here, and maybe down in here. Luckily, we've got the best dang radiator shop in the Midwest, just about 8 miles east of us here. So next video we'll do radiator, maybe do the carb kit, and we got to order some brake parts. So thanks for watching this one. Appreciate you. Sorry we had a little hunk of time there where we didn't get a lot of videos out, but we're correcting that now. I just got super busy. We got some cool cars coming into the shop, customer cars, and we got a lot to do. So thanks for watching. Appreciate every single one of you. See you on the next video.